Hello, good morning, welcome. My name is Marianne. For those of you that are new, this is Aging Gracefully. And for my faithful returning subscribers, a heartfelt welcome, a hello, and thank you for just sending me special DMs asking if everything's okay, that you've missed me, where I've been, and so here I am. For those of you that are new, especially if you like the content here, I would so appreciate if you would join in. I normally try to at least get out a video at least once a week, sometimes twice, and as of late, it's just been very sporadic. Those of you that usually follow my channel know that I shared with you a few weeks ago that during this whole entire COVID time, my mom has been on hospice and she does reside with me. I am her main caregiver, and as we progress on, it's just been it's a very slow progression with what's going on with her, but she is comfortable, and it's just a slow progression. So it does take up quite a bit of my time. It has become just so much more time consuming to me, and I find that by the end of the day, some of the time that I would allot towards putting a video together, editing, and that type of stuff just isn't there because I'm pretty pooped out and tired. So I know that my videos have just not been coming. I have been trying to create content, and I just have to now put things together. And also, my husband was home for his vacation for 10 or 11 days, and he just went back, so we had quite a bit we were trying to do around the house, and I just wanted to spend time with him, and not like we could go out and do anything, because even if we didn't have COVID, I still couldn't do that because I can't really leave my mom for any given length of time. So why don't we just talk about what's going on, and I'll kind of give you an update on what I've been doing. So I hope you guys are all well. I live in a state, Alabama, which is not one of those good states where the virus isn't on the incline. It was for a little bit, seemed to be on a decline, but it has really spiked, and so it's not good around this area. I am still under pretty strict precautions, basically because of my mom, and because we do have hospice care, so have to follow those guidelines. And you know, it's important that they're trying to care for her and keep her safe, and they're also trying to keep themselves safe for their sake and their family. So my outside is very limited. I still do groceries, even though it's a little more expensive, home delivery or a quick pickup. Sometimes I have to run in, but everything I do is on the fast and quick. And so it was kind of nice to get a little bit of a break with my husband home these last few days, because at least I knew I could run out and do what I needed to do and not feel that pressure of I have to hurry up and get back, because I can't leave her alone for any given length of time, because she does still get into some trouble. But so what I've been doing, let's talk about that. First of all, I did get myself dressed up today. Not real fancy, just this cute little top. It's just a button-down top. And it's cream colored with this mustard colored. I'm really favoring that, it seems, as of late, and I like it. It's always been kind of a color that I've liked, but never really super popular, I guess. around my house. I'm not saying popular on the outside, but just a little splash here and there, but I do like it. And I had a live stream church service today, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to act like I'm going to church, so I'm going to get myself somewhat put together and dressed up. And since I was put together and dressed up, I thought, hey, I'm going to do this video because I have been just dying to get this out for you. But I have decided today I'm going to do this in 2 parts, so hopefully the second part is going to follow after I publish this video. So what I've been doing, besides being a caregiver, that pretty much has taken up my whole entire, time and day. My mom's appetite is still very good, and the problem is she doesn't really like to eat anything like more than once in a row. So I am still doing a lot of cooking and freezing. She doesn't have a huge appetite, just eats little portions, but that's kind of going on the decline. But I do try to give or make her things that she wants. Sometimes it's a little ridiculous what she's craving, but I have to just kind of remind her, excuse me, this is not a hotel. But anyways, you do what you can do. Sorry, I sipped, but I am having a nice cup of coffee, and it feels so good to sit here and to chat with you. And like I said, I hope you guys are all doing well. So I have had some very stressful days. Let's just say that, and not be detailed. When you're being a caregiver for someone, and I have a nursing background, nothing really prepares you for it being your own family member. And there's just a whole lot that goes on with it, also on the outside. And, there is some stress involved because you're giving up a lot in your life. And I think sometimes others don't really understand that. And, I have had to learn to do what everybody else is doing during this pandemic, being at home, just making changes, finding a new norm. And nothing prepares you in life to have to make decisions for an elderly parent based on their own life, knowing what's the best for them and what's good, and making these decisions, especially those decisions that they don't understand. So things have been stressful, and I am trying to deal with my stress through other means because I have to have that relief. Because all of what I used to do, even my exercising in the outside world, has shut down. My going to my 1 time a week meeting with Weight Watchers kind of shut down. Now they're saying that they're supposed to be opening that back up, but I still have to limit myself to where I don't think I can be present because the virus here is on the incline, as I stated. And my church opened up for the first time for 2 weeks, and I was so torn because I just wanted to go just to have that inside church feel again. And I had to make the decision, no, I couldn't be gone that long. When my husband was home, I thought, well, maybe I can go because then he can stay here. And I thought, no, I shouldn't get the exposure. And then, of course, there was a very small but an outbreak, and so they've had to do it back again online. So I'm still having to take all of the necessary precautions. But what I've been doing is a lot of reading and a teeny tiny bit of gardening and a little bit of redecorating. So my next video to follow is pretty much going to be the information about what I've decorated. The little updates I've done, a little bit of painting on some furniture, a little bit of just moving around, redecorating, kind of shopping inside my own house and just moving things around. And so I am working on that to put that video out. And when my husband was home, I started planting a few herbs, and I just bought some of them were kind of on their way out. And I got them at a reduced rate, and I kind of brought them back to life. And I bought a little galvanized bucket that I had shared in a previous video, but I'm going to share it again in my next video to show you my gardening. But it just took off and just boomed. So we had talked to our lawn guy about, he does some landscaping and making a raised bed garden for me, but he's so busy right now, he wasn't quite sure when he could get to it. So we bought some galvanized through Amazon raised bed galvanized bins, and we bought 2 of them. And when my husband was home, he was able to get them put together, fill them with the necessary compost and dirt, and I transplanted some of my plants and bought a few more herbs, and I got some things planted. So I do have that I can get back into. I had a beautiful raised bed herb garden, and we had garden in Illinois when I lived there, but I was also working full-time, and so I didn't have as much time to spend gardening as I wanted to. And now that I am home, it's a diversion, and so I am in the process of wanting to put some flower plants in one of the gardens and just start very slowly doing that. Right now, our weather has gone way up high. Our actual temps are like 90 to 92 during the day, but the heat index is way higher. Humidity is thick. So I have been lacking in my walks. It's been a good solid 10 days that I haven't even been able to go out for a walk. We had a ton of rain and then this extreme heat. So hopefully if I can get myself to get out super early, at least I might be able to even do a 30-minute, get back into my, at least a 30-minute walk. But again, it's just, things just go on and happen, and you know, you're just like, oh my goodness. So I have been doing that. I have been reading, and I'm going to share with you some of what I've been doing along the reading, and of course baking my sourdough bread. That is kind of one of the loves I picked up during this pandemic, and started doing some research and experimenting and doing sourdough. So I'm still doing that and making bread, and also, as I'm fiddling here, just been playing around with doing my hair a little different because it is hot, it is humid, and my straight hair is longer now and just on my neck, and I tend to just keep putting it up. And so I talked to my daughter-in-law using the straight iron, flat iron, and she kind of taught me how to just put a little bit of a bend in my hair, and so it works pretty well. I was doing it and it wasn't holding, and I was klutzy with it, and I didn't know how do I hold, you know. So she gave me a few tips and told me which way to angle it, and I put a rubber band on for a reminder because, yeah, I'm just that slow sometimes. And so I've been just kind of doing that. But what I want to share with you is just a few things that I've realized during this time period. One of which is, you know, no matter what our situation is, whether we're going out, some people are out in the outside world, some people are traveling, some people, you know, are doing what's that normal for them, and others of us are more homebound for different reasons and situations or comfort levels. And I think you can, you know, it's just so easy to get into a slump. It's easy to get into a slump of just not taking care of yourself and not feeling that you should take care of yourself every day, no matter what the outside situation is. Because I do think that when you look good for yourself, however that is for you, then you feel good, then you'll act good. And just taking care of yourself shows respect for you. And I also think it shows just respect for others, that you care about what you're doing, and it shows in, you know, how you feel. So I have oh, let me get this here. I don't want to drop it. So one of the books that I've picked up along the way from the Homemaker Chic podcast had a guest on, and her name is Jennifer Scott, and she was very interesting to listen to. And so I decided to pick up her book because I was interested in what she was saying during the podcast, because I was thinking about this. Like, I went for a walk one day and I came home and my daughter-in-law had FaceTimed me, and she goes, I said, oh, I just got back from my walk, whatever day that was. And she goes, and you put lipstick on and makeup to go for your walk? And I go, yes, I did. Because that day I just felt like I needed to feel good about how I looked and get dressed, and knowing I was going for a walk, and still put on my red lips, because it is a feminine thing to do, and it just makes me feel a little more put together. And so yeah, that's what I did. Well, anyways, so listening to her podcast, when she was talking, I thought, gosh, I really like what she's saying. So I picked up her little book. It's called Lessons from Madame Chic, and it says 20 Stylish Secrets I Learned While Living in Paris. So I have been reading this, just a few little chapters each day or night when I get a few minutes, or I'm feeling stressed out and I need to just clear the mind. It's really been interesting. It's really been a fun book. It is truly about her experience when she lived in France, and how she interpreted what she learned as a young, I think, foreign student, exchange student there, about their culture, how they eat, how they dress, how they take care of, you know, themselves, their homes, and all of that. So anyways, some of the chapters I'll just go through with you. Like chapter number 1 is snacking is so not chic. Deprive yourself not. Live life as a formal affair. Cultivate an air of mystery. Look presentable always. You know, really some just really fun chapters. And the way it's written, it's quick, it's easy to read, it's fun to read, and really makes you think about, yeah, that's really true. I think it's been easy to get into a slump since we're not going out. We're not seeing people on, you know, like we used to. We're inside more. And maybe that's made us feel like, oh, okay, I'm going to have a makeup-free day today. Good for the skin. I think that's great. And I do that a couple of times a week. And I put on a hair mask or something. But it's easy to get into a slump of just, you know, oh, give me the stretch pants, yoga pants, or, you know, just lounge and just stay in the lounge wear and just put my hair up, don't even run a brush through it, and not do what we normally would routinely do. So this is just a fun book. I'm enjoying it a lot, and she's got another book out. Her name is Jennifer L. Scott, and but this is it's just fun. And you know, if you're into fashion, and I'm not talking about current fashion, I'm just, if you're interested in finding the right clothes for you, finding your niche and what you like, and how to put things together that way, it's just a great read. Another fun book that, as you can see, that I do go through and have made recipes from is No Crumbs Left. And this is Terry Turner, who has her own Instagram, all that stuff. Very well known, very popular, beautiful book, beautiful recipes. Oops. And I have been Look at that. Just look at that, how beautiful that page is. But love this book. I've talked about this before, and I have made several of her recipes. And yes, they are delicious, especially this. And this is so simple and easy. And I do have a friend right now who just was given some pretty frightening news of a diagnosis of breast cancer and advanced, and so I am trying to put together some meals that I can prepare for her that are going to be comforting and soothing, that might be something she can tolerate. And I am going through my favorite recipes and books, and I looked at a salad like this along those lines, something I can put together for her that's different, that she can nibble on when she's feeling up to it, with a different variety of, you know, just some roasted chicken, fresh vegetables, some eggs, you know, things that are more tolerable for digestion, because I know there's some issues with, you know, treatment and side effects and all of that. So I'm doing that, and so I've been pulling out some of my favorite cookbooks, and this happens to be one, because someone sent me a message and said, could you tell me, you know, do a book review or something. It's not really a book review thing that I want to do right now, but just what I'm looking at pretty much almost every day. I make her onion elixir from the book, and it's so good on salads or sandwiches, or just to throw in eggs. I love this book. So again, this is Terry Turner, No Crumbs Left. Great book. Also, yes, I'm still baking sourdough bread. Now, if you look at this bread, I have this back in my vanity room, not too sanitary, but it doesn't have a really big raise. Is it a fail? No, it's light. The back was, you know, when you hollow, it's made with einkorn bread. And this time I didn't do all einkorn, but mostly einkorn, and just a little bit of bread flour to it. And normally when I do that, I don't get as high of a raise. So I'm still experimenting with just the different combinations. This is einkorn bread, bread flour, King Arthur, and some King Arthur whole wheat. So it is a mix. Now, I can tell you, this toasted up or even just cut into is delicious. It has wonderful sourdough flavoring, and it's really good. So not your typical high bread, and I get some really good high raises when I'm using just all bread flour, but this einkorn flour is much more digestible. It's yellow in color, like a creamy light, dull white, I guess you would say. It almost has like that, just wheat color. And it feels different, and it's got a different taste to it that's really, really good. Just really good flour. Love it. So yes, I have been doing bread baking, and I usually take the bread and I have it early part of my day for like my first meal, and I toast it, and it's so good, and it's all within, you know, trying to maintain proper weight. And this is a high protein type wheat flour, and it's much more digestible, and it's actually good for you. So I'm not afraid to eat bread or pasta. And yes, I have just been maintaining. I haven't been losing or gaining. I'm staying within that range. But I do want to still get down, just because I just feel like I need that little, you know, just that little assurance that everything is good. And I think it's good to do, just to keep yourself and your mind in the right realm. But I have been eating lots and lots of fruit, because there again, I'm not afraid to eat fruit, to keep myself in the right frame. Lots of vegetables. I eat sweet potatoes, rice. I don't eat a lot of meat anymore. If I do, my choice is chicken, and I have fish. So I'm not vegan or anything like that. I just am eating good whole foods that aren't full of additives and, frozen quick entrees. I'm just going for more nuts if I'm feeling like I need something for a snack, as compared to getting something that's low in fat, low in sugar, but full of additives. So I'm just kind of trying to stay away from that. So I'd rather have some almonds or some pistachios or cashews even, and just everything within the right balance. So, I love a piece of this bread with some almond butter. Oh, so good. And toasted lightly. So good. Or it's so good with a piece of mozzarella cheese, sliced thinly with some fresh tomatoes, garlic, and a little teaspoon of olive oil on top. Oh, listen, that's a meal fit for a queen, for sure. The other cookbook that I have been loving is this, France to the Farm. Yeah, I know a lot of things France, but, French stuff, but she has her own channel, and this is her podcast, is Homemaker Chic, and this is the Parisian farm girl. Some of you are familiar with her. It says blending generational favorites with French flair. Love sitting down, looking through this, and I have a lot of things copied. I've made a couple of her recipes. They're very good. One that I made right here, this right here, I use Genoa salami and fresh green onions with cream cheese inside. Yeah, not exactly on the diet list, and no sense in getting low-fat cream cheese because it's not the same. But I made it for I think it was my daughter-in-law's birthday. They came over for dinner and fixed a cheese tray and some hors d'oeuvres, and that was one of them, and it was really good. My son didn't like it because he doesn't like onions, but oh, they were almost addicting, like, ooh, just that flavoring together. So I've made a couple of hers, but just the beautiful pictures inside this book and reading how she's written it and put it together, it's great. So this is From France to the Farm. Good YouTube channel, good book, good all that. And then the next two books that I have been, well, before that, some of you might think this is kind of crazy and silly, and it might be, but I ordered the series from Laura Ingalls Wilder, and it is the Little House series. I know, they're kid books, but listen, when you're stressed out and you need your mind to just release and just not focus, you can sit and watch a movie. And I'm one that just can't sit and watch a movie and not have a book in my hand or something to crochet or do. I don't know, I just have to do two. But I just decided, you know what? Yeah, let's go back to the pioneer days and, when things weren't quite so easy. And let's just see what goes on. Always loved Little House on the Prairie, watching it growing up. So I thought I'm just going to read the series. I don't care if they're a kids book or not. I read lots of kids books. I love them. So the first book was Little House in the Big Woods. Now, yes, written for kids. So you can kind of go through these books like in a couple of hours here, even less for those that speed read. And so I've gone through two of the books. They're great. And it's just fun to actually hear and see what they did for food, shelter, entertainment, how simple life was, how happy they were, how thrilled they were over going into town and actually getting a piece of candy, and how much more it takes to give us that joy or excitement of receiving something that isn't just that simple piece of candy. So it just kind of gives you a different perspective, and I'm enjoying reading those. So what can I say? Don't judge me. I'm an old lady and I'm reading kids' books, but hey, do whatever you need to do. Those are true stories. Those are written by her, of her upbringing as a child. And, they're fun. So I would encourage you to do that. Also, on a daily basis for my devotions, these are currently the 2 books that I am reading. The first is called The Story, and this is a book that my sister-in-law actually sent to my husband, and I got a hold of it and said, well, I'm going to read this way before he's going to read it. So he said, well, finish it up and pass it on. But this is the Bible as one continuing story of God and his people. It is written by Max Lucado and Randy Frazee. I think that's how you say it, F-R-A-Z-E-E. And it is great to read. It's the entire Bible in a novel version. It's so good. It's so interesting, and it really makes you stop and think, gosh, you see things differently, and yet you think, we've all lived through those situations, maybe just different, but the same. Emotions, feelings, people's characters, and, dealing with all the same things that we deal with. We are all of this is great. This is great. And I'll just read you the back. It says, the greatest story ever told is more than just a cliche. God goes to great lengths to rescue lost and hurting people. That is what the story, it's called The Story, is all about. The story of the Bible. God's great love affair with humanity. Condensed into 31 accessible chapters, the story sweeps you into the unfolding progression of Bible characters and events from Genesis to Revelation. Using the clear, accessible text of the NIV Bible, it allows the stories, poems, and teachings of the Bible to read like a novel. And like any good story, the story is filled with intrigue, drama, conflict, romance, and redemption. And this story is true. This is great. This is great. And I know it seems thick, but it's very easy to read, and I have been enjoying this. Every day, I just make that part of my devotion. And then we're doing a Bible study online with my church, and this book is by Robert Morgan, and it's called The Red Sea Rules. And it's the 10 God-given strategies for difficult times. And I just am like, okay, this could not have come at a more perfect time. And the first thing that caught my mind was rule number 1. Realize that God means for you to be where you are right now and right here. And when I read that, I was like, okay, I can't fight anymore what I'm doing in my present situation, and I have to realize that he has me in this place doing what I'm doing, helping with this caregiving in my situation, living apart from my husband who's working in Illinois right now at the present time. And I just am learning to be okay with it. So these are the things that I have been keeping myself busy with. Reading, doing some baking, lots of cooking, just to relieve my own stress and to fill my day, and also gardening and decorating, and that's going to be my next video. I've taken a lot of still shots and little clips here and there, and then I'm just going to voice over that. I think you'll enjoy it. I've done some painting, I've done some kitchen decorating, I've done some furniture rearranging, and so I am excited to get that to you, and I hope to get that out this week, and I hope this to go out within by tomorrow. But I just wanted to come on and say thank you to those of you who have reached out. Thank you for your thoughts, your prayers. I appreciate it. I so need it. My absence is not because I am not liking this or giving this up. I have a very small community that I'm so excited when I hear from you all, and I've missed just being here, sharing with you, and talking with you. And I don't want to come on here and just be crying, boo-hooing, oh poor me. I want to uplift, and I want to uplift myself as I'm doing it. And so I just thought I'd share with you just this quick little, quick, over 30-minute update of what I'm doing. And I'm doing fine. I am in my present situation right where I need to be. And sometimes I feel like I don't do it as well as I could do it, but I'm learning, and we're just gonna get on with it. So I hope you're doing well. Until my next video, be kind, be humble, and age gracefully. Bye.